So hello, thank you for joining me for today's session. Please feel free to open up your Canvas course so you can follow along with the tips and tricks that I'll be talking about with our video hosting tool, Kaltura. So the main focus for today's session will be learning organization tips and tricks for your Kaltura videos, but we will also be reviewing creating assignments and quizzes. You can learn more about the ins and outs of Kaltura by visiting our Getting Started with Kaltura in Canvas course if you are interested. So let's go ahead and dive right into organizing your videos. So first, let's take a look at naming your videos. Let's say I have a video that's about human anatomy. The title that would make the most sense is Human Anatomy. It's generic and easy to remember. But let's say I teach multiple courses that have lectures about human anatomy at varying difficulty levels, so I have multiple videos of the same topic. A video that I use for Bio 101 might not be appropriate for my Bio 300 level course, so I have a video for that course, but it's also titled Human Anatomy. To make my life easier, I would add the course number to the title. To break this down further, I have a human anatomy lecture that I want to differentiate from previous semesters. Maybe it was a Zoom meeting that was very engaging and the students brought up a lot of good points that could be useful for future courses. So adding the course number, the topic, and the semester it was featured would be a great way for it to stand out from the previous semesters. So next, we'll talk about tagging your videos. So much like the naming conventions of your videos, it's good practice with Kaltura to add tags that are relevant to your video to make searching for them easier in your My Media or Media Gallery. So a generic tag I could add for that Bio 100 course I mentioned would be Human Anatomy. But I think we can do better because this tag will also pull up all the videos that have that tag associated with it, or any instance the phrase human anatomy is stated in the captions of the video. So once again, we can add our course number as a separate tag to break it down a little further, along with the generic tag that I mentioned previously. If you don't want to use the semester in the course title, you can always add it as a tag. This will help keep all those lectures organized to make searching for them easier. So depending on how your course is organized, you can create playlists based on a weekly format, a module format, or a topic format. Using the Bio 100 example, I could have a playlist that's dedicated to human anatomy. So the playlist could include a lecture on the skeletal system, respiratory system lectures, circulatory system videos, etc. The next playlist could be in ecology with videos of ecosystems, food chains, and topics in that same vein. Something to keep in mind, however, is that playlists cannot be scheduled, but there is a solution for that. If you are super efficient with building out your course and have all your videos ready to go ahead of time, but you want to limit the access that students have to the playlist in your course, you can embed playlists to a page in Canvas and add that page to a module and lock that module until a certain date. Or build out the playlist as an assignment to be released on a certain date. Something to keep in mind with this idea, though, is you would need to hide the media gallery on your course's navigation. Otherwise, the students will be able to see them as soon as the assignment is published. So let's do an example of the creating a playlist or organizing our media. Okay, so now we want to, so we went over some ways to organize your course, so let's see it in action. First, I'm going to go to My Media and search for a specific video that I want to retitle. So let's do this Kaltura capture recording that I have. So I'm going to click on the edit icon here. Okay. Okay, good, it's paused. So then let's rename our video. So I would do that Bio 100 example that I mentioned before. And then the topic, so human anatomy. And then I would add spring 2022 for my semester. Then I would add a description. And let's scroll down to that tag section. So same ideas with the title. I would do the course number or the course code, and then the topic, so human anatomy. And then spring 2022.
Nita, can I just ask for the tags? Are you separating them with just commas? Are you hitting enter after each one? How are you separating them?
Oh, good question. So I am hitting enter every time, or I'm just clicking on it. So let's say I wanted to add circulatory system. So then I can hit enter, or if I wanted to, I could click on it and it would generate that new tag for the video.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So then after I added all of those tags, I would go down to save. And now I want to create a playlist that's based on the human anatomy section that I want to talk about with my students. So then I would go to my media gallery. Move my thing here. Okay, so then I would go to, oh, let's say actually, before I get too far out of myself. So let's say I wanted to add this to a page in my modules. So I'm actually going to go to my modules first. I'm sorry, no, I'm confusing myself. Okay, so I am going to go back to my media gallery and I'm going to create that playlist that I mentioned. So let's go to that little hamburger icon at the top here. And I'm going to select create playlist. So let's do that human anatomy. And I can also add tags to my playlist as well. So I could do the Bio 100, human anatomy, spring 2022. Okay. And then I would select create. And now I have the option to add all of the videos that I want to this particular playlist. So I can select the plus icon here. And let's say I wanted to add this video as well, and this video, and this video. So I have 4 different videos that I want to add to my playlist. And depending on how I want the students to view these, I can move around the order of my playlist videos. So you would just take your mouse and you can drag and drop it into a specific spot. Okay, and after that, I would go to my media gallery. And I can add and so here's my playlist. So it will default to the details section, but you would click on playlist. And if I need to make any additions or subtractions or changes to my playlist, I can find that in the media gallery. And you'll see in the media gallery now, it's coming up with that human anatomy playlist that I created. So let's click on that. And it will automatically play all the videos in this playlist. Oh, nope, I didn't want to do that.
And Lita, just to clarify,
Yes.
because I think we went over this last time, but I just want to remember if I'm remembering correctly, you cannot make playlists with videos that you've made into quizzes, correct?
Correct, yes.
Or they cannot be included in the playlist. Okay.
Okay, so let me see. We go to edit. And let's go back to that playlist thing here. So the actions, if I wanted to edit my playlist, if I wanted to add more videos, that's where I would go. And you can add a description as well here. Okay. So now if we wanted to add or to use the page embed option that I mentioned previously, so if I wanted to embed a playlist into a page, I would go down to the pages option in my navigation menu. Or if I wanted to add it to a particular module, I could go to modules. But since I'm already here, I'm going to go to view all pages. Then I will add a page. And let's say human anatomy. Playlist. And I could add a description. Please watch these videos to review for our kids next week. Okay. So now I would go to the Kaltura icon here. So very similar to what you would do with assignments or video quizzes, you would click on, or not video quizzes, but assignments or discussions. If you wanted to embed a Kaltura video, you would click on that familiar icon. And in the top menu options here, there is a media gallery playlist. So I would click on that. And then I would select embed. Okay, and that's where all your videos would play for your students. So I'm going to click Save and Publish. Okay, and let's say I wanted to add this to a module. So I'm going to go to my modules page here. And I'm going to add my page. So this is very familiar if you've done this before. So I'm going to click on Human Anatomy Playlist. And don't forget to publish your module, otherwise the students will not be able to see it. And let's see, make sure I'm not missing a step here. Okay, so as I mentioned before, if you do decide to go this way with the page acting as sort of a media gallery for this particular topic, you would have to hide the media gallery in your navigation menu. Otherwise, the students could just come to media gallery and view the videos this way. But if you wanted to hold back on the date that the students are viewing these videos, you would have to hide the media gallery. So go down to settings and go to navigation. And I would just click on the three dots here and then disable. I'm also going to disable the my media while I'm here. Okay, and then that would move it all the way down to the bottom. So if you did want to make that change and move it back to where the students could see it, you could just click on this and then enable. Right, and click save. Okay, so let's go back to the modules here. And if I wanted the students to view this on a particular date, I would click on the three dots over here, select edit, and then lock until, let's say I didn't want them to see this until Thursday at 12 o'clock in the morning. All right, and then I would select update module. Then continue. All right. So let's see, next up, let's create an assignment. So to ensure that the students view your video, we recommend creating a text entry submission that the students must submit after viewing the video. if you don't want to do that, you'll need to go into the analytics page to view who has viewed the video and then manually add the grades into the gradebook. The text entry method is a great way to see if the student has retained the information and can use it in a practical application. So let's do an example of that in my second module here. So I'm going to create an assignment. Let's see, let's do human anatomy video. Okay, and click on this to edit it. Go to edit. And we would add instructions. So please watch the video below and then submit a response. Do a very basic generic thing for now. And once again, we click on that Kaltura icon. And I want to use my Bio 100 Human Anatomy Spring 2022 course video here. So I'm going to select embed. All right, looks like it's coming up. Fantastic. So let's scroll down to points, and let's say it's just worth 5 points. And then for the submission type, I would do an online submission with text entry. And you can do unlimited attempts, or you can limit it to 2 attempts, however you want to do it for your course. So the same way that you would do any other assignment within Canvas. And let's say this is due tomorrow. Let's do Thursday. All right, do Thursday, and it's available today through Thursday. Okay, so then I would select Save and Publish. All right, so there's the assignment, and you'll notice when you go into Student View that the video does not come up. Now, the reason for that is Kaltura requires an authenticated login. So it requires a student to actually be logged into an account. Because the student view isn't linked to an actual account, Kaltura automatically rejects it. So it's just coming up with this blank option that you can't see the video. You can only see the instructions that were given. So that's what that is. It's very similar to chalk and wire in that sense when you get the 404 error. So I just wanted to mention that because we've had that question come up a few times. So there's how to create an assignment. And let's create a quiz. So the best way to make sure that students have watched the videos is by utilizing the video quizzes. Before you add the video quiz to an assignment, you will need to create the video quiz in the My Media page. So let's do an example of that before we dive into the assignment steps. So let me go to click on module, create an assignment. Human anatomy quiz. So click on here. Oh wait, I need to go to my media first. Okay, so let's see. Oh, okay. I have to re-enable my media first before I can do that. Okay, let's try this again. So I'm going to go to My Media and create a video quiz. So let's use this one, for example. And so I would click on Actions and then Launch Editor. Then I would click on the quiz cube in the upper left here, and then select Start. So this is where you would also adjust any of the settings that you want to fine tune your quiz a little bit more so students aren't skipping ahead. If you want to have a certain number of attempts for the quiz, this is where you would make those adjustments to the video quiz. So I can allow multiple attempts. So I'm going to say they get 3 chances. And then you can adjust which score is kept by the quiz. You can do the highest score, lowest score, the last attempt that the student made, or the first attempt, or you can do an average of all of them. So I'm going to do an average. And you can also choose whether or not to show the students the quiz scores at the end or have them see the scores at the end. So those are those settings. And then experience, this is where you would change to make it so the students can't skip ahead on the videos. If you want to make sure that they're watching the whole video, this is where you would make that change. So I don't want the students to skip ahead to find out where the questions are. So I'm going to click here. And then also no seeking forward. That's how you make sure that they're not going ahead in the video. So you can add a special message, or you can just leave it with the default, which is seeking was disabled on this video. Okay, so now that we've made all of those adjustments, let's go ahead and add a question. So let's say I have a spot in particular that I want to maybe ask a response for a particular spot. So let's see, mouse is pointed. So select it true, and then, oops, and then select save. Now, I don't recommend having videos or having video questions that are stacked on top of each other. It's better to have them spaced out. If you know that you're going to be using this video for quizzing, I do like the idea of having a slide in the lecture that states it's going to be for quiz questions. So then that way it's not putting the question over the middle of a sentence or the middle of a word, and it's makes it flow a little bit nicer. But in terms of adding the questions, you can put it at different points in the video. So let's add a question here. Let's have a multiple choice. Let's do white, and then you can add as many multiple choice options as you would like. And then go on. Right, and then select save. And if I wanted to just focus on the questions that I had added in the video quiz, I can use the arrows to jump from question to question. And let's say I wanted to put a question all the way at the bottom, or all the way at the end of the video. I'll just put my cursor all the way over there, select add question, and let's do another true false. And select save. Interesting, didn't put it where I wanted it to. But you do have the option to drag the questions to a particular spot as well. So you would just grab your mouse and then slide it around. Okay, so select save. Of course, this one's being finicky right now. Okay, so actually that's a question I want to delete. So I'm going to click on that question and I would select the delete button right here. Okay, so then if you wanted to preview your video quiz, you would select the preview option here. And this is the prompt that students get every time they open a video quiz, just so they know that it's a quiz. So select continue. And actually, because I chose the no seeking forward option with the video quiz, it's also not going to let me seek forward in the video. So that's also something I want to mention. Mouse is pointed on screen, true. Okay. So one thing to know about the questions, even if the student does select here, they do have to click on the select button for it to go into the system. All right, and there's that. After that, they would have to click submit. And then select done. Okay, so now that we created our video quiz, I would select done. And then I would go to my modules and then go to video quiz, my assignment that I have there, select edit. Okay, so this is where it's a little bit different than the actual assignment option that I showed you previously. So here is where you would add the instructions. So please take this video quiz. Please take this video quiz. So then I would scroll down and say that the quiz is worth 10 points. And submission. So this is where it's a little bit different. You would have to select external tool for the submission type and then search for Kaltura video quiz. And here it's going to prompt you to select the video quiz that you want to add. So it's not going to come up with all the videos that you have in your My Media or in your course. It's only going to come up with the quizzes that you've created. So this is the one that I just made. So I'm going to select embed. And then hit select. So you'll notice at the top here that it doesn't automatically embed it like the assignments do or the pages do. So then you would continue to edit the assignment like you normally would. So let's say this is due on Thursday as well. And then we have it available today through Thursday. And then select save and publish. So after it saves and publishes, this is where it will show how it looks embedded. Now, you'll notice that on the video, it does kind of cut off a little bit. Maybe that's because I'm zoomed in really far. Okay, so it is a little bit cut off. So if you did want to make it so it's a full screen experience for your students, you could have it load in a new tab. So I'll show you what that looks like as well. So you would just select that load this tool in new tab option underneath external tools. Click save. And then if I click on this, this makes it much bigger for the students so they have a more full screen experience when interacting with the quiz. So let's see how it looks here. So let's just go ahead and click on that. And it skipped one of my questions. All right, so let's click at this. Hit select. Interesting. Okay, there we go. So select true. Okay, and then once the student is done, they click submit and then done. So that's how that looks for the students. So then they would just need to close out of that. And that should be reflected in the grade book. So let me just check my notes here, make sure I didn't forget anything. All right, so let's check to see if that was coming up in the grade book here. Oh, actually, because I'm not a student, that wouldn't work. All right. So that was everything I was going to cover today. Were there any questions that came up that you would like answered?
No, I mean, I interrupted you and asked my questions. So, and I think they were all answered. So thank you.
You're welcome. I do have a faculty feedback form. If you could just take a couple seconds to fill that out, just to let people know how I'm doing. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to help as always.
All right. Thanks, Lita.
Yep, you're welcome. Have a good one.
Thanks. Take care.